bottom of the left column on page Taf Resh Mem Aleph. I want to look at the note that's on number Gimel. So this one starts out and it says Marisa Ruk Behemshech Sham, as he goes along over there. Bir od v'zel l'shana v'nachzach ad the farish halashim b'sifra d'tzniuta, and he wants to go back over this now. Okay, so he says anachis b'shviro b'reisha d'sifavon. So it goes down in a beautiful way. This question is, what does this beautiful have to do with it? But that's what the words are. So he said the gavana b'shvil shachoyach adinim shal hatikun ezech b'shuchu kale. Now that's interesting. He says that the kale is the first din. Hadinim, let's see, he says hadinim shal hatikun hazej, which is kale, mumutakim, sweetened up, ve'enum mumutakim b'kol, but it can't be sweetened by everything. Ella mamazgim b'yofi, but either I guess he means ve'enum mamtikim b'kol, doesn't become completely and totally masukan. Ella mamazgim b'yofi, but instead it gets mixed up with beauty. Now, what does beauty have to do with dinim? I don't understand. He says you don't sweeten all the dinim. He said instead it's a mixture. A mixture with what? A mixture with beauty. And say, for example, let's say that a person is completely white. That's not pretty. He says, it has a little bit redness in it. It's some color in his cheeks or something like that. So it goes down in its beauty, kolomer. Kutsim shall kale. So he says, what? The kutsim shall kale zeh yardah mumazgim ad reisha desifavan, so that they go down mixed up until that is, if something another, they're not pure like that. But they're made up with this reisha desifa. With this, they're mixed. They're mixed ad reisha desifavam until they reach the beginning. That's what sounds like the word reisha of the lips. Kolomer ad chilos. Let me move this over here. Where are we? What happened here? I lost the place. Oh, here we are. I'm sorry. I got too many things in front of me. I'm getting mixed up. He said, which is on the upper lip. Shekorin, greenin. The granin, I don't know how you pronounce it. Beloshin, Ashkenaz, Adkan. Okay, it's this number Gimel that I wanted to look at because it's a strange idea that he says it goes down with beauty, and beauty is changing it slightly. In what way? It's not pure din, or it's not the word he uses. He says it's not pure sweetening. So he says, let me get a little bit better look at this. So he said, I'm sorry. This is what he said. That they become sweetened. I'm not sure why he says they become sweetened. He hasn't told me what sweetens them. They're not completely and totally sweetened. So then they become sweetened or fixed or built or whatever the Tikun would mean over here, until you don't she'ein nira bo odim levado, that you don't only see the redness, which is the din, ela mumuzaga biyofi. Now he says it the opposite way. I thought it was the opposite way, that the yofi was the part that kept it from being totally sweetened. Here he says, but in other words, it's really red because it went through a tzimtzum to become the first name, which is the name kale. It says something about the name kale too. He says it's only partially sweetened. because he says, and he says, Nira Odim Levado, so it doesn't look like red. It has Elam and Muzaka Biyofi, but it has something beautiful, or beauty itself, mixed in with it. Adam, like for example, Im Hu Kulu Lovin, if he's completely, totally white, Azai Enu Yofin, it's not beautiful, Elitzark Lihios B'Katsas Odim, so he has to have a little bit of red. Now here we're talking about something which is, it sounded like he was talking about something which is red. It's not completely red. So this is what it says, that he goes down in beauty, Kolomer, HaKotzim shall shem kale. Now the Kotzim, is I guess he means the end. I'm not sure what Kotzim means here. Yordim Muzogim, they go down, so the Kotzim, what Kotzim are actually hairs. Okay, so that's what they are. The hairs shall shem kale, that represent the upper part of the beard, where it begins to start. Yordim Mumuzogim, they go down and they're in a mixture state. They're in a mixture state ad reishach of the sifavon until they reach the beginning of the beard. Kolomar ad dachilas haseir she'al hasafa al yona, until it reaches that hair. Excuse me. Shekora Kabbalashan Ashkenaz Lashon Azra, to call this word again granites. And he says soften their lips. I guess that's what that means. My beloved, Tzach ve'edam, he's pure or clear, and edam and red. Dogel Merkova, like the flag of a chariot. I'm not sure what that means. He says, so he says, V'ledodi, what are the dodi here? What do we get out of the word dodi? Interesting. Haim dinim and mutakim, they're referring to sweetened dinim. Shemakim l'rachokov yizbarach, that what? Shemakim l'rachokov yizbarach. Is that right? Shemukim. I'm not sure what this means. Mamutakan shemukin laharchikov yisbarach, to his distancing. V'ohavim yisarov v'solchim la'avonon. So I guess it means v'ohav, they love the Jewish people and forgive their sins. So it's a mixture. It's red, but it's also clear or pure. Lavan, the Adam, like say, the beauty of the mixture of these two, as had been explained previously. So, not sure how to add this up exactly. He says, Ela Mutakim, that he says that they're sweetened, that what comes out of the first tikun, which is kale, or dinim, pure dinim, but they're sweetened some, this is the way he says it, with a certain kind of a beauty. What is the beauty? The beauty of mixing white and red. That's how it sounds like. So now we're going to go over to the next tikun, what he calls about the tinyona, the second one. This is going to go way back on page Kuf Pei. We'll just read it. I'm going to read this. Now, a lot of this is really reference to a lot of the Pirush that's down below, and I didn't keep most of it. So he says, Nachis b'shaviro, this is number 2, Tinyona. Nachis b'shaviro b'reisha the sifavan. It goes down in a beautiful way till it reaches the beginning of the lips. The high reisha, and it goes from one end of the lips to the other end of the lips. Or the two ends go towards the middle because you have two kales. I'm not sure. Okay, so that's what that's about. Now, we went through a whole lot of this, and so the idea of whether the middle part of this, Beresha the Sifavan, is Nachis b'Shafiro. We had a machlokas of whether or not this goes with the first tikkun or it goes with the second tikkun. So over here, we're trying to think that it goes with the second tikkun, and let's see what. Let's just read the what goes through here. We could read the blurb at the top. get an idea from that. He says, Achar Shabir Seder Makom Tikun the Rishon Yuvoyer Atach Beseder Makom Tikun the Sheni, no problem. Shuhu Seder Smichas Sa'aras Safa of Yonah. This is the growth of the hair on the upper lip. Tikun Shanikrach Benose Avon, so it's also called by this name, Nose Avon. Mitzad Pinimiusa, that's on the inside, that's the energy that's inside. Of a ninkwach rachum mitzad hitzonim. So I'm not going into that one particular there, because most of the comments here are really directed at that machlokas that we had to begin with, which is whether or not this goes on the first tikkun or goes on the second tikkun. There's a lot of site referencing over there. Now there was something I thought that was interesting here on number Mem Gimel. Then Gimel goes on to Nachis B'Shefiro, so that's where we're at there. He says, Hine, Lefi Pirish Marie Soroki Secha become Elo Hamilus, which is Nachis B'Shefiro B'Reisha the Sifavon, Shayach La'el L'Tikun the Rishon. So that's according to the Ri Sorok. Became Mubu Birusha B'Zor Rekia, over Emeka Melech, he says, let me see, Emeka Melech. So he said, according to the Grokan, these two words based milus, nachid b'shvirach b'shaychel b'tikun rishon. So the Gro agrees. Obesa milus, the two words b'reisha the sifavon shaykh kan b'tikun the sheni really belongs to the second tikun. But Mari Rashbi over there, Bevuva the Hedya, the call Dalad Milos Nachid Bisfiro Beresha the Sifavon Shaykh Khan Batikun the Sheni. Now most of the comments are like that, so we're still arguing on that. So therefore we're over here on the second one, and I'm going to switch back to the I guess we're supposed to read the they were supposed to read the explanation. So he said Tinyana, the second one, and he has a note on that number Ben Bess is that in the original versions this word Tinyana was not there. So it doesn't say what was there, so I think it's just a sheni, maybe shnia, something like that. But the Tinyana is doubtful whether or not it belongs. In the original publications, which is going back to Mantura or Mantoba and Cremona, also in Amsterdam, he had said they don't have that girsa. It wasn't until they got to Istanbul that they came and they used this, and now everybody uses this version. But he tells us that it's questionable as whether or not it belongs there. So the second tikkun, he says, the Sa'aras a tikkun, the sheni, the dikna, the erikan, pin nachid, b'sheviro. So he says, this is the version we have now, goes down in beauty. This is the second. It seems like that what he wanted to say is that it goes down in beauty, that is, something beautiful comes into it. It's not just carrying the din that comes as a result of the contraction that brought it into the beard. So he says, that's what it seems like. I could make the best answer of that. But Imshachem Biyofi, and it's beautiful, Beresha the Sifavan there. Berosha Sfasayim. The Haida Bisanfa Hadyana. Shall Eric Anpin, and now we're talking about Eric Anpin here. Biseder and Smichas and Sa'aros, so the order of the way these Sa'aros grow are high ratio, the high ratio, they grow from one end to the next. Not sure exactly what that means. In other words, it starts at the same time for the two ends towards the middle. But at any rate, it covers the whole upper lip. Meirosha Echad Shalapash Beketsei Yamin. So it sounds like it's going to that. Ad Rosh Sheni Shel Hapeh small. So it really sounds like, now even though you have two kales coming down the side of the face, it sounds like he's talking about going from the right to the left. I'm not sure if that has a significance or not. The Nimsa Tikun Sheni, so it comes out that the second Tikun then, who Shuras Hasaros is really the rows of hairs, Hagadedim al Safa al Yoina, Behemshek Urich Kol Peh. Okay, one way or another, they're going all the way through, and he said from the right to the left, so we'll take his word for it. Let's go to, where would we be the next time? So now we're going to be on page Tafresh Mem Bet. And we're going to go into the Tikun Tinyana. He's going to read it like this, and going to straighten us up a little bit, hopefully. So Tikun Tinyana, he says, we're going to have to stop here in a minute. So when we have those words right there, so we have that in the Ara here, that's wrong about the Fio Rizal, that they all go down in a balanced way. What does that mean? Hanizka be'idra rabba over there bekan v'hainda shas aros tikun the sheni somkin ba'ofen shakel v'yafet. So they have these two qualities. They're balanced, or they are the same, and they're beautiful. Over there he says on this v'zel l'shoda b'tikun l'shakel hainda hashvoros hasaros ve'ein zecha v'yotze b'zeh. He says what? He says that this. I guess he means to say that they're even. And you don't have the hairs growing one into the next in a sort of in a tangled state. In other words, I guess he means the amount of hair follicles that you find on one side is not more than the other side. But they're equal in any way you look at it. The sign. So looking at this mustache that we're talking about here, his upper lip. Yesh l'sayim ki al dereg zerem b'ura b'gam b'yafashai is the same idea. Al idra rabba l'cholonu will say later on v'zechel l'shada b'tikuna shakir b'shakil kashakir. Yan ki urcha svasa, because the path that you have over there in the upper lip, mapsik bein time interrupts. There's an interruption there. But therefore one to say Kael Deus Naasech Hepsek B'Mishkal. So the translation of this is, in other words, even I thought he was talking about the third tikkun, which is the path in between the two sides, which is an open space underneath the nose. So he said, let me read it again. Ya'anki urcha shebesafach of Yonah. Mapsik bein time. It really. I think he means there's a path through that in the middle that interrupts the two sides, or it separates the two sides, b'shikol, but it's done in a balanced way. So then you have this phrase el deos, naasa hepsek b'mishkos, but the interruption, or what's the right word for hepsek? He says is all balanced out. The two sides she'ein sad echad. Yoser al Chavero ad Khan. There's a little note, number Dalet, on that, and we may pick that up the next time. So we'll stop here so we can look a little bit at the Tiva Kavanos.